Welcome to Noxium, where police power meets public accountability.
This episode is brought to you by Yardley Ski Auditing. Be sure to check the link below, subscribe to his channel, and give him the recognition he rightfully deserves. In this episode, Auditor Yardley Ski is calmly filming outside a police station when an officer suddenly lashes out and detains him in under 60 seconds. No questions, no investigation, just a clear display of a power trip. But Yardley remains composed. He challenges every flaw in the officer's conduct, exposes the unlawful detention, and ultimately walks away with a substantial compensation payout in court.
What's your name?
PC Harvey from the
Okay.
North East Dog Unit.
Who?
PC Harvey from the North East Dog Unit. Are you one of these auditors that like...
From the North East Dog Unit?
That's it.
So you got dogs in there?
I have.
Alright.
Mate, just
You're not blocking me in, are you? No, I'm not coming over to the
Hello.
side. Don't touch me and don't follow me either. Trust me,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
Keep it professional.
Another unit to assist with stuff outside CDJ, please. I've got someone filming the Met building and vehicles going in and out. I'm glad you've come onto the pavement.
No, I don't need to be on the pavement. Don't
Mate,
glad I've
you're
done
going
anything.
out
You
of the
touch me.
pavement.
Listen.
You're detained for a search under section 43 of the
Alright,
Terrorism
yeah,
Act.
okay.
I'm PC Harvey from North East.
Alright, what information have you got
Use some
to
common
detain
sense.
me under that?
Use some common
What
sense.
information have you got to detain me
If you
under
let
that?
me speak-
If you holding me,
If you let me
look,
speak
you're holding my
across
arm.
the pavement,
You're holding my
that's an
arm.
emergency
You're
base.
holding my arm.
Vehicles could come
You're
out
holding
there
my
on blue
arm.
lights.
Yeah, but they're not, are
Okay,
they?
but they might.
But they're not.
And you're blocking that.
They're not.
So come on to the
No.
pavement. It's a...
I'm,
Mate, it's-
listen, the more you drag me,
I'm
the
not
more
dragging
you're
you
gonna,
anywhere.
the more
I'm
you're
trying to
gonna.
put you onto the
Yeah,
pavement.
but you don't need to put me on the pavement.
The officer stepping out and immediately restricting the auditor's movement reeks of assumption, not policing. What's especially absurd is that he openly asks whether the individual is one of those auditors, clearly indicating prior knowledge of the practice. That alone should have told him this was a lawful audit, not a threat. But instead of using that information sensibly, he jumped straight to invoking Section 43, a serious power intended for genuine terror threats, not someone holding a camera on a public pavement. The officer had already made up his mind before even engaging. There was no effort to observe, no proper questions asked, just an immediate escalation backed by shaky logic. When someone who understands what auditors are still chooses to weaponize anti-terror legislation against them, it's not ignorance, it's deliberate misuse.
Your behaviour and your actions,
Yeah.
these can be sites that
Can
are
be.
vulnerable to terrorist attacks.
And
okay?
what?
And when
What have you
people-
got? What information have you got to suspect me of that?
Are you gonna...
What information have you got to suspect me of that?
Are you gonna listen, or are you just gonna keep?
Well,
talking
I'm
over
detained,
me?
aren't I?
Huh?
I'm detained, aren't
You
I?
are, but
yeah.
you're asking. You're asking
Well, I don't
me
have to listen to
questions.
you, do I?
You're asking me questions that
Yeah.
you want the answers to.
Go on then, what's
and
the
every
answer?
time I speak to you, you're talking over
All
me
right
and not
then.
allowing me to talk.
Go on then, talk.
Okay? So you might be one of these new auditors, they're called. They like to provoke a response out of the police to try and get something for clicks and likes and views on YouTube. It's like a new trend that people like to do. Also, you could have suspected terrorists potentially that could be doing what's called hostile reconnaissance. And what people do before they may decide to launch a terrorist attack is they like to come and do recce to the buildings and the vehicles that they might think, I'm going to do an attack on that vehicle or that car. That's another reason. Okay, and that's why I've stopped you, and that's why you've been attacked.
First, invoking hostile reconnaissance as justification for detaining someone who is peacefully filming is such an extreme stretch that it undermines the credibility of the entire stop. Real terrorists do not advertise their intentions by openly filming in public view, and even if they did, far more covert methods would be used. Modern attackers rely on tools like Google Earth, drone surveillance, or anonymous online mapping to plan their actions, not by walking around in broad daylight while recording themselves. Even if there were some remote concern, the officer's reasoning ignores basic context. The auditor was not operating covertly, but entirely in plain sight. The idea that this amounts to a sufficient risk to justify invoking Section 43, a power designed for genuine terror threats, is reckless at best and dangerous at worst. By conflating lawful filming with suspicious behavior, the officer disregarded context, precedent, and proportionality.
So why do you suspect me of doing that?
Because that building
Why do you suspect
is
me?
vulnerable.
Why do you suspect me of doing that?
Because of where you are.
Am I doing a lawful activity?
No, but it's suspicious.
But
isn't
am I
it?
doing a lawful
In this dark
activity?
job, what,
No,
by
answer that
walking
question.
around?
Answer that question. Am I doing a lawful activity?
What, by
Is-
filming a police building and vehicles coming in and out of
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
No, mate, it's suspicious.
Oh, it's not. No, but
Okay,
it's
some
lawful though.
people-
It doesn't
some
have to be. So
people-
what if it's suspicious? It's lawful, yeah.
It's
legal.
lawful, yeah,
It's legal.
but
legal.
Also, but
It's legal.
still,
Stop there.
Okay, so you're still talking.
Yeah,
over
because
me?
it's legal. I'm not doing nothing wrong. What information have you got to suspect me
Your
of being
behaviour,
a terrorist?
your
What's my
behaviour,
behaviour?
your
Because I'm
action.
filming.
Huh?
Because I'm doing something
you're-
lawfully.
Because you're filming.
Am I being unlawful?
vulnerable
Am I
building.
breaking the law?
Huh?
Am I breaking the
Yeah,
law?
you've been detained under section.
Yeah, but am I
43,
breaking the law?
Mate, don't do that.
No, I can't do that.
Vehicle.
I don't care if it's an unmarked vehicle. I
Right.
can stand there and do whatever I want.
That power that under section 43 of the Terrorism Act
Yeah.
gives us the power to look at phones that are being used, photos that have been taken on those phones and videos. So that's what I'm going to do on that Samsung at the moment.
The officer's attempt to justify searching through the auditor's phone by citing Section 43 of the Terrorism Act is not only misleading, it is legally flawed. Section 43 permits a stop and search based on reasonable suspicion of terrorist activity, but it does not grant officers blanket authority to access personal digital content such as photos and videos stored on a phone. That level of intrusion requires a higher threshold, such as a warrant, consent, or specific authority under Schedule 7, which does not apply in this case. What is even more concerning is how casually the officer attempts to assert this invasive power without any evidence of genuine terrorist intent. Based solely on the act of filming a public building, he treats the situation as though it entitles him to access private digital property. This is a clear overreach, and the courts have repeatedly warned against such conduct, particularly where it infringes upon Article 8, the right to privacy.
I don't think that you're doing something legally by stopping me under Section 43.
That's few
crazy.
and far between.
No,
That's
it's not few and far between. No, get your
You
facts
can-
right.
You can carry on
Get your
recording
facts
if
right.
you want, and I'm telling you what's going on at the moment.
Okay, I will
Okay,
carry
what's
on
your
recording.
name?
I'm not going to tell you my name.
Okay, can you take your bag off?
No,
No, okay, so I'm going to search you with it on your back. So turn around and look at the wall.
I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not going to follow your instructions.
All right, you can just sit tight there.
Do you know what? Your colleague, right, stopped me under Section 43.
Okay.
Yeah? But I've done nothing wrong. I've been filming here. Yeah?
I can't film on behalf of my
No,
colleague,
but I've
can
been
I?
filming, but I've done nothing wrong.
I can't speak on behalf of my colleague, can I?
Yeah, but I'm filming.
I
It's
can't-
filming.
I
It's
can't
filming.
speak on my colleague.
Yeah,
Why are you
but
asking me
is
then?
filming wrong? Can I film?
It's
I'm just
asking
asking you.
questions.
No, I'm asking you.
Listen,
I'm asking you though.
Let me finish then.
Okay, go on
Every
then.
time I speak, you speak both
Yeah,
ways.
that's what he said earlier on. Yeah,
Well,
you, but same
maybe
script.
it's true,
Yeah,
well, no,
same
because
script.
I want to
But
hear
I'm
it.
asking you a straight
You did it
question.
again now,
Well,
aren't
answer
you?
the question. Yes or
Let
no?
me speak before.
Okay. Is that a yes or no answer?
Yes, you can speak.
Oh, so I can film, yeah?
And he's told that to
I can
you.
film. So,
I've heard him say
if
to
I
you,
can
I've just
film,
said it, yeah.
why is he stopping me under Section 43?
I'm not him. I don't know.
Okay.
All right.
You see?
So there you go then.
He's not you. He doesn't know. If it was him, he wouldn't have stopped me. You know why? Because I can film on the street, legally, lawfully.
This moment absolutely lays bare how fragile and unjustified the original detention really was. When the auditor calmly asks the arriving officer a basic question, "Can I film in public?" the officer eventually admits, yes. That simple admission dismantles the entire premise of the Section 43 stop. Because if filming in public is lawful, and this officer can clearly acknowledge that, then why was the first officer so quick to resort to extreme powers under anti-terror legislation? Even more damning is the second officer's response, "I'm not him. I don't know." That is not merely a deflection. It is an unintentional confirmation that there was no clear, shared, or justified reasoning for the detention. In situations as serious as invoking terrorism powers, there should be solid, articulable grounds. But here, it is painfully obvious the original officer acted on assumption, not legitimate suspicion.
Don't put your hand on me. Don't put your hands on me. Do not put your hand on me. I can put this anywhere I like.
Don't in your face.
No, listen, you are standing close to me. No, you go away. Go away. You step away. Right? Because now you're antagonizing me.
I'm not antagonizing
Yes, you are. You're trying to escalate the situation.
let me speak?
Step
You let me
away.
speak?
Step away
No, I
and do
won't.
not touch me.
No, I won't.
Well then, I'm not going to let you speak. I don't want to touch. Look, you're doing it again. You're doing it again.
Don't,
You're
it's
threatening me. You are threatening me.
Phil.
You are causing me alarm and
Phil.
distress. You're such a way away from me. You do not need to outstretch your hand.
stand there, then.
I can stand
Stand
where
there.
I like.
Don't put it in someone's face.
I can stand where I like.
Stop being in my face.
I can put this in my face.
No,
Do you know?
wait,
I'm
oh,
not
this
going
is
near
way.
you. I'm not going near you, but I can put it in your face if I
this
like.
way.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, cool.
That's
You got
fine.
an arm distance, I've got an arm distance.
That's fine then. But don't put it in his face like you were doing.
I can do what I want.
Like, no, you can't.
Yes, I can actually.
can't, my
I
friend.
can.
Stop coming near us then.
Yeah, look, I'm not coming near you. You're the one that's stepping near me. Move your hand.
No.
Move your hand from me. Oh,
my
all right.
self-distance, my
All right then,
self-distance.
big man, big man.
Safety.
Yeah, whatever.
Safety, my friend.
Yeah.
Self-defined ethnicity.
See, you're right in my face now. You're right in my face, so you think you can do it, but I can't.
No, it's my safety.
Yeah, look, see?
My safety.
Well, my
you
safety.
You and I
Look, see?
a minute ago, weren't you, my friend?
Look, see?
There you go, just stand there. That's
No,
fine.
I'm not standing here, I'm moving. I can
Yeah,
walk.
what's that distance away from us then?
Shut up.
This officer's behavior is a textbook example of intimidation disguised as protocol. The auditor posed no threat. He was simply recording, standing at a reasonable distance, and calmly asserting his rights. Yet the officer, without any real justification, suddenly extends his arm and commands, "Stay back," as if the auditor had crossed a line that did not exist. It is clear he was not attempting to ensure safety. He was attempting to provoke by creating the illusion that the auditor was encroaching. The officer manufactured a sense of confrontation where none existed, seemingly hoping to elicit a reaction. Had the auditor flinched or responded defensively, it is likely this would have been used as a pretext to escalate the situation further, potentially even to justify an arrest on unfounded grounds.
What's your surname? Or you refuse to give that?
Who's refusing?
I don't know. What's your surname?
Don't use the word refuse.
Okay, what's
Do
your
I have to
surname?
give it to you?
No, you don't.
Well then,
So you are refusing.
I'm not refusing.
Well, you are.
I'm not refusing, I don't have to give it to you. Why don't you understand what you're saying?
Do you want to just show us the gallery on the phone of the photos that you've taken in the videos?
And
You have to do that under the law.
I have to do that under
Yeah,
the law.
yeah, under
Actually,
section 43.
let me just say something to you.
Go on.
Right, hold on. Where's my thing? Give me my stop slip.
I'm going to give it to you in a minute once we're finished.
Okay, let me just say something before
Go
I
on.
turn this off and show you.
You don't
yeah?
have to turn it off, but you can
No,
keep
I will have to turn it off. How can I record if I've got to show you stuff?
Because you can keep the app going, can't you?
What app? My filming app.
I don't know, whatever you're
Well, that's
using
what
to
I'm
film.
filming you. But let me just tell you something, yeah?
Go on.
I don't want you to look at my personal property.
Right.
Yeah? Under section 43,
Yeah.
it doesn't say that you can look under my property
Okay.
in the sense that you're saying it.
Right.
Obviously, you're coercing me that I have to show you because
Right.
as far as you're concerned,
Yeah.
this is part of your bully boy tactics. What are you looking for?
Similar sort of things at other protected sites.
No, what are you looking for? Be specific.
Photographs
Of-
and films
gone, yeah.
of other police buildings, and if there's a pattern of behaviour.
But obviously,
I've already explained it
But
to you
obviously,
when
I
I first
film
started.
police buildings. But what did you say I was?
Huh?
What did you say I could be?
The terrorist.
No, you didn't say that as
Yes,
well.
I did.
Two things you said.
Mate,
What was
it's
the
all
other
on
thing?
here, bro.
What was the other thing? Don't bother me. What was the other thing you said?
I don't know. Go on.
Oh, you can't remember?
No.
You said two things. You said you
Go on.
could be one of these new.
Oh, an auditor.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I'm an auditor, what will I
Right.
have on my phone?
I don't know. I haven't looked at it yet.
No, but what would I have on it if I'm an auditor? If you know about auditing, what will I have on my phone?
Other videos
Of.
and photos
Of-
of officers, of ambulance staff, of firefighters.
No. We don't do ambulance or
anything
firefighters.
like
We just do
that.
police.
Just like
Well,
clicks.
I just do police personnel.
Okay, lovely.
Yeah.
Do you want to stop?
So that's
filming
what you're
now?
going to see on my phone.
Okay.
Yeah?
Right. Are we
And is that
finished?
going to be an issue?
I don't know yet because I haven't had a look.
Yeah, but they're going to be the same as filming. This is what I'm
Right.
saying. You're not going to see any different.
If you suspect someone is part of a legal, well-documented movement known for filming public buildings to hold police accountable, then finding those very same videos on their phone cannot suddenly become suspicious. That is not evidence. It is confirmation of exactly what the individual told you they were doing. What makes it worse is the officer's vague response, "I don't know yet." That statement says everything. It reveals that he proceeded to search without a clear, lawful objective. He is not looking for anything specific tied to a criminal offense. He is fishing for material that might retroactively justify his actions. That completely inverts the principle of reasonable suspicion. Instead of evidence driving the search, he is hoping the search itself will somehow produce justification. The officer is effectively saying, "I think you might be doing something legal, but I'll search you anyway just in case it somehow isn't." That is not policing.
Under
gonna
section
have a look at
43,
it.
you have to be specific.
I've just told you, photographs.
Yeah, but when you see these
film.
photographs, you know what
Well,
you're going
I
to
don't know
see.
until I look at them, do I?
What was all those questions you was asking me? If I what? If I work?
Yeah.
If I do this all the time?
That's
if I
it.
travel up and down?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm interested.
You are?
Yeah.
Well, when this comes out, be interested because
Go on.
you'll see
Where am I
yourself.
going to be? YouTube?
You'll see yourself.
Excellent.
You've lost.
Mate,
You've lost. You've lost because you've illegally
I haven't lost
detained me
anything.
under section 43. Do you know what? You really don't know what you're doing. You've never
know
done
a
it
lot.
before,
You're just
obviously.
trying to get
You've never seen a
a
terrorist in your life.
How
yeah?
do you know
And,
that?
oh, I bet you haven't.
do
Have
you
you?
know?
Have you seen a terrorist?
I can't tell you.
Oh, you can't. Why not?
No.
Why? Because you're that
That's
big that
operational. No.
you're so massive that you can't say
I'm
whether or
not
not
massive.
you've seen something. It's like me asking you if you've seen a burglar and you're going to say, "Oh, I can't tell you that." Huh? What's the
I'm not gonna-
difference?
Sorry.
Huh?
Hey, I'm getting bored.
Don't call me mate. You keep on calling me mate. I'm not your mate. I never would want to be your mate.
Okay, whatever. So
Oh yeah, whatever. Off you go.
Obviously,
Off you
could
go.
get
Don't
stopped again
talk to
later
me.
on
I don't want to
today.
hear you. I don't
It
want to
could
hear what
happen
you got to
again.
say. See? Chadwell Heath. Bully boys. Oh wow, what rubbish tactic.
Yardley took this unlawful detention to court and walked away with a £750 compensation payout. That figure represents more than just money. It is legal confirmation that the officer violated his rights on flimsy pretenses. When a court rules that your stop was unlawful, it is not a minor error. It is a failure in your duty to uphold the law. Let's not forget how quickly this unfolded. The officer approached Yardley, demanded answers, and imposed a Section 43 detention in under a minute. There was no meaningful investigation, no dialogue, just assumptions and control tactics. Even more concerning, the officer acknowledged he might be dealing with an auditor. He said it himself, yet still proceeded as though this was some covert operation. His justification hinged on the possibility of finding videos of police buildings on the phone. But if you already believe the individual is an auditor and expect to find footage of public buildings, what exactly are you searching for? The officer could not provide an answer, because there was no valid one. The second officer's conduct did little to improve matters. Rather than assessing the situation objectively, he reinforced the initial mistake with vague responses and a confrontational stance. When the auditor asked why he had been stopped, the reply was dismissive, "I don't know. I'm not him." That is not merely a lack of accountability, it reflects a breakdown in teamwork and public service. When he then attempted to exert physical control through subtle intimidation, it only further exposed their approach. Silence the individual, not address the issue. In the end, Yardley Ski not only stood his ground, but also exposed the incident for what it truly was, a textbook example of ego-driven, rights-violating policing. His success in court sent a clear message that the unlawful use of terrorism powers will not go unchecked. The compensation, the public exposure, and the reputational damage to those involved all stem from one fundamental truth: authority was allowed to override judgment. It stands as a clear lesson in how not to carry out the role. That's it for today's video. If you found this episode informative, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It genuinely helps support independent coverage. Also, be sure to check out Yardley Ski Auditing. His channel is linked in the description. Show your support. Thanks for watching.